Hello everyone, I am JC Giraldo. Well, you can call me Juan Carlos Giraldo or JC Giraldo. It's up to you. And here I am in Rhode Island. Well, in fact, I am exactly heading to Boston right now, entering to the 95. I am recording this episode in the car with my friend Susan Wolfson. Susan is my neighbor. We live in the same neighborhood in the Boston area, more exactly in Newton Center. We live probably 15 minutes walking, 5 minutes in the car. And we came together to this nice event organized by Business Innovation Factory, where the founder and catalyst, Saul Kaplan, is a good friend. Something that I learned from this summit 2 days, full of storytelling, full of co-creation, full of inspiring people, that we don't have to wait to be we don't have to wait to share our insights, our ideas. We have to be spontaneous, we have to be vulnerable, we have genuine is the right word. Forgive me if I have an accent, but I have an accent. So this is what the last words that during the summit Saul Kaplan says. We have to show that we are vulnerable and we are genuine. And I decided to record with my friend Susan in the car. She's driving right now. Some kind of insights, conclusions, experience. Remember that life is about experience, and how we felt after this or during the event. Nothing. Susan, you don't have any, let's see, you don't work in social media, you don't work in marketing, you don't work in the things that I'm doing, you are no podcaster, you are a nice neighborhood in Newton that works in this kind of well-being area, field, we'd say. It's not an interview. I am not making an interview to you. We are sharing a nice conversation during our commute to Newton. So it's going to be our own storytelling. I bet Saul Kaplan and Susan Kaplan and all the people who work in the Business Innovation Factory will be so happy, and our listeners, all my listeners, will be so happy to hear or listen this podcast, different podcasts. Susan, what is... If I am asking you something right now while we are going into Lonsley Avenue, Main Street, heading to Boston, what do you think about this summit?
Well, I really loved being there, and thank you again for inviting me. One of the things I took from the summit was how powerful storytelling can be, and this was very deep, moving, personal stories that were very, very motivating and very inspirational. And the summit was really unlike any conference that I've been to in the past, which tends to have a lot of people, a lot of workshops, and very content and data focused. And this experience really moved me and motivated me in very different ways than other conferences that I have been to.
Yeah, I agree with you. You know something very interesting to me, and I agree totally about that you say right now. It's my first time that I came to the Business Innovation Factory Summit, which means it's BIF 2018, 2017, now it's 2019. It will be 2020 and etc. It was my first time, and it's the first event or the first summit that I went that is not talk about how the way to sell something, how the way to gain followers, how the way to improve your knowledge in blah 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 blah. Something that I really like. It was interesting for me that I had before in Peru, in my country, was the co-creation sessions that we have. We paint together, people dance together, we made this origami together, making our paper airplanes, and we share the history for others. I think the real point is share history from others to inspire others. Right, Susan? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I thought it was absolutely beautiful on day 2 for people. We were talking about looking at the different concerns within our community and institutions, and people were talking about what they personally can do and what we can do as a community, what we can do together. But the way they ended it with everyone sharing their personal dreams and wishes for themselves, and then, as you said, Juan Carlos, creating, folding it like origami, making a paper airplane, sailing it into the center of the room, and having people pick up each other's wishes and keep moving it around the room. And then ending up with someone else's personal wish was, I thought, just a really beautiful, memorable, and inspirational call to action, not just personally, but for everybody there.
Exactly. And something, you know what? We are entering to south of Leboro, heading to Boston right now. So, Susan, we are in the 95. Hey, Susan, you know what? Something that Saul mentioned is, you mentioned right now, communities. Communities are the core of the societies. And the community are so important for different kind. The community could be the community of artists, the community of single people, the community of divorced parents, the community of single parents, etc., etc. Or there's people who like sports. But something that Saul Kaplan mentioned, and I think we agree, Saul says, when you share your history, you are creating communities. Do you have any experience on communities, or you think that during this summit, what kind of communities you think that you will be involved? For example, I create some connections here for my podcast, for the idea that I have for my business to create a small media company, and one of them was create a community to help using podcasting, What do you think about how this kind of event that we have right now, what we attend, can help you in your career, or you already make connections probably with the people here? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think just being here was so inspiring, and I think the whole tone of the event was, as you said, about creating connections, creating community, creating goodwill. And there were so many different examples of thinking outside of the box, people approaching a problem in very different ways. There were so many different connections for me personally. There were the connections and community related to helping children and families, child welfare policy issues, related to financial coaching, financial well-being, which we know is so incredibly connected to one's overall health and ability to live a rich, full life. And I don't mean monetarily rich. And communities around bettering the healthcare system, health outcomes. I think that all of these things intersect, and I think that was a huge goal that was really accomplished in this conference, is creating, highlighting the intersections between all of these different issues.
Susan, I agree with you. Now we are still in the 95. We are half an hour to our neighborhood.
We're going to be on 95 for a while.
Oh, well, pretty much for a while. But anyways, I'm seeing right now 1, 2, 3 at Leboro Norton, exit 3. Okay, Susan, I feel very cool with the co-creations we were painting with another people. It's unbelievable how the creativity through, in this case, painting, can affect the emotions to others. If we translate this situation or this action, this kind of workshop or this kind of co-creation indeed, to the corps, to the companies, any kind of size, it's unbelievable how the effect that this kind of activity has right now. What do you think?
That's a great question and a great thought. I think art, music, any kind of creativity allows people to tap into a different way of thinking, and I think it helps people calm down and relax and possibly think more clearly or think in different ways. And for me personally, it was so relaxing and fun to be painting. It made me feel like a kid and reminded me about all of the creative things that I love to do and want to do. And as you said, doing it with people is very different too. Doing it in a community creates community and creates team building and completely different experience than I think the quietude of creating art on one's own. So very, very inspirational.
And you know, something very cool during the conference, during these 2 days, that we saw different kind of topics. Things, let's see, veterans. They talk about veterans. They talk about
maternal and child health.
Exactly, maternal. We talk about immigration,
yes.
So that's hot topic. The music, how the music and dance affect in our life. And you know, I didn't think about it, but music is storytelling. Art is storytelling. Some people think that the storytelling is sitting in bed, open a book and read with somebody else anything, like a book, a tale, or a magazine. But it's not. The storytelling is beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are so many different ways to tell stories, as you were saying, and it's not just verbal, as you were saying. It can be the beauty of music. That was one of the most moving moments of the conference, was ending with that beautiful piece played, Hallelujah, one of my favorite songs. Brought me to tears. There are so many different ways to tell stories in art and music and movement. In addition to people's personal stories, are just a wonderful way to tap into transformation and I think also helping people not only change but to heal.
Exactly. Heal is one of the words that the storytelling or the co-creation sessions help us in good way. Something that I would say, like a, let's see, conclusion, Susan, is like we are living in one world that is full of technology, full of narcissism, full of selfies, full of how many likes people have in Instagram, how many followers you have in Twitter. But life is not in that way. Technology came to help us to improve many things. Like, for example, that we saw the guy that showed us how the data can make you a storytelling when the women are pregnant. You remember? Mm-hmm. That they follow how the process, the baby.
Yeah.
Very interesting that he created this company. And when the mother can create her own history since the beginning.
And anyone can. Yep.
Exactly. Anyone can. Saying that, of course, the technology helps us, but to me it's very important what is behind the screens. Who are behind the screens? You know, I came here, I meet for first time in my life after 6 years I have contact with Saul Kaplan. And to me, was very moving, something how he get tears, get emotional.
Yes.
After the talks, you know, to me was very inspirational how he handled the situation. But what do you think? How the technology can help us after this event that you just attend with me?
Well, as you said, technology can hurt or technology can help, and I think this conference highlighted so many ways that technology can help people, as you were talking about. I think it's Story MD, but how people can take charge of their own healthcare and their healthcare data and have everything in one place, And I think he was talking about having this healthcare record, all your information from birth until death, and also information that people can use to really help improve their health and health outcomes. So I love that theme of how technology can actually help us. I think it's a very noisy world, and I think social media can be very loud and noisy.
Annoying.
And yes, annoying. Very,
Tweets
very annoying. And also information overload, as you were saying, with the likes and the dislikes and the thumbs up and the thumbs down. So seeing these examples of how we can truly harness data in the service of helping people is, I think, the direction we need to keep heading in.
Well, okay. So, Susan, nothing. What else I have to say? Nothing. I'm very glad, very happy to came to Rhode Island, to the Business Innovation Factory Summit 2019. I meet good people with, you know what is very important? The attitude that the people have. All the attitude. You know, people are so friendly. Hey, I saw you tweet. Thank you so much. Hey, let's you on LinkedIn? Yes, let's be connected to do something. And Saul mentioned that. This summit just ended. But please, keep doing. Spread the word. Make a connection. Make a tweet. Share your own experience. So this is the thing we are doing right now. In the car, recording a podcast. Who cares? The people live, you know, Susan, the people live in one world that the appearance has to be the perfect, neat. No, a podcast has to be recorded in one studio because the world say that, no, who said? We are in the car recording a nice podcast with you that you are no podcaster, indeed. You know, you are just my neighbor and then my friend that came together. We came together to this event. Nothing. My first words, I will say, oh, by the way, you know what, something I really love it, really love it, before I start the conference, was when Susan Kaplan, Saul's wife, approached him and give him just a hug. That's it. Sometimes, you know, human beings, we need just a hug. And that's it. And so kick off the conference. I noticed that and was very moving because recall me my mom, recall me my dad when in my country when I was kid, and I saw them when they hug each other. Yeah, it was very cool. I would say thank you so much, Saul Kaplan, for inviting me to this nice event. Thank you to Victoria. Thank you to Susan Kaplan. Victoria, I sent her plenty of emails, but she was so kind to say, don't worry, JC, everything is okay. And is it the attitude that all the companies, regardless of the field they are working, they have to have attitude. You know, that's this is so important for me. And thank you so much, Saul, Susan Kaplan. Looking forward to see you again. And Saul, you promised me you will be my guest in my podcast. So the next year, I will send you one iCalendar to schedule with you a nice episode in Rhode Island, because I will come again to visit you. And nothing, I am JC Giraldo I am in Boston right now, from Boston, Massachusetts. And have a good day, everyone.